Well, veterans from around South Texas were honored tonight at a special ceremony in Taft this evening. Taft was proclaimed the first Purple Heart city in the Coastal Bend. Our Taylor Alanis just got back from the ceremony and joins us live in studio with the details. Taylor.
Yeah, Mac, tonight's ceremony was a chance for both city officials and citizens alike to thank the men and women who have served and continue to serve our country. The Veterans Band kicked off tonight's ceremony at the Kiva Hut. Taft Mayor Pedro Lopez recognized the 5 Purple Heart recipients and over 25 veterans living in the city. Lopez says the city loves and appreciates its military members and will always welcome more into the community. Senior Vice Commander for Purple Heart Chapter 598, Mike Mendoza, says he was honored to bring the prestigious honor to his hometown.
Seeing the sign up there as you enter and exit Taft, it's a real good feeling knowing, as a veteran that, hey, you know what, I'm recognized, not just per our city, but as a veteran here at Taft.
The Department of Defense issues the Purple Heart Medal to those who were wounded or killed in combat. In order for a city to receive the designation, a Purple Heart chapter must request it at the state level, and then city councils have to vote and approve the resolution. Mendoza says chapters encourage cities to apply because they want veterans to be recognized for their sacrifice. And there are more than 200 cities and counties around the U.S. that have that Purple Heart designation. Mac.
I love that. Thank you, Taylor.